Hey everyone, and welcome back. Sorry, there was a strange truck pulling into my driveway. Okay, let's try again. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. How are you today? Hopefully quite well. Today's video is going to be a favorites video. This is going to be our book favorites from the month of January. So this is all the books on Chick Lit Plus that got 5 stars, either from myself or someone on my review team, just anyone that gave a book 5 stars. I'll be going through all of those books. It's so funny because I feel like in every favorites video, myself and other YouTubers are like, where did the past month go? Oh my god, it went so fast. And I'm like,
January took for freaking ever.
I remember one day being like, oh my gosh, it's almost February, because so I do yoga with my best friend, we're the Cheeky Chicks. I feel like I say this in every video, but we are. But each month, at the end of the month, we have to pick what yoga challenges we're going to do for the next month, and we have to take our pictures together, and it's a whole big deal. And I remember at one point, I was getting ready to text her to be like, dude, we haven't decided on challenges, what are we doing? And it was January 20th. Whoa, I thought it was like January 30th. I'm like, come on, month, get over, like, let's get to spring, let's get to summer. What are we doing with this winter weather? Really long introduction, but why don't we hop into the favorite in January. I was so happy about it because it is for Peri in Progress, and this is by Lavoie, and Michelle is the one who reviewed this one. Peri in Progress is a book that was published by my publishing company, Marching Inc. I typically will always ask someone on my review team if they want to review the books that we put out from Marching Inc. because obviously I cannot review it because of course I think all these books are fabulous, or else why would I publish them? So I was so happy to see Michelle give it 5 stars. So happy about that. If you are a lover of chick lit, I definitely would recommend Peri in Progress to you, but also Kat's other novels as well. Each book that I do mention in this video will be linked below. I will leave the Amazon link if you would like to perhaps purchase a book, and also the review link to Chick Lit Plus so you can read the full reviews for yourself. The next review is from Christy, and this is for Nicknames, Tales from the Shallow End of the Manhattan Dating Pool, and it is by Geneva. I thought it was really interesting because one of the first lines that Christy said is that she feels like it's kind of like Sex in the City, but from a younger point of view, and I thought that was very interesting. In her review, I mean, she obviously gave it 5 stars, but her review actually encouraged me to buy the book. I have not read it yet, but I do have it on my Kindle, just because, like, I love Sex in the City. I got into Sex in the City not, like, I got into Sex in the City as Sex in the City was, like, about getting over, but it also came out when I was very young, and obviously I couldn't be watching Sex in the City at that age. But I love Sex in the City. I was very intrigued by her comments, and especially just her full review in general. I thought this cover was really cute as well, and it sounds just like a book that I would enjoy, so thank you, Christy, for encouraging me to do that. But yeah, that is Nicknames. I also want to point out, if you follow me on Snapchat, you know that I've been sick for a while. My husband was really sick, and then he got me really sick because that's what a good marriage partner does. But I just have not been feeling well, and today I still don't feel the best, and I tried, like, I wasn't going to put any makeup on, and then I was like, put some makeup on, like, dude, get it together. And so somehow I ended up with, like, a purple eye. I'm like, how did I... The day that I'm like, don't put on a lot of makeup, I go with like purple sparkles. Like, oh, okay, Samantha. So then I put on this bright red lip to try to like balance everything out. I don't know. I started to get carried away. I get carried away, and this is what happens when I get sick. But I still feel like I just look like a pale, sick girl on camera. So if I don't seem as enthusiastic, or my voice seems weird, or I just look like I'm gonna faint at any moment, it's because I've been battling some sort of flu stomach bug for the past few days. The next one is actually a 5-star review from me. It is for How to Look Happy, and this is by Stacey Wiedower by Stacey. And I have read Stacey's books before, and I was really excited when she asked me to review How to Look Happy because it just seemed like a book that I would want to read. And it was so funny because I remember trying to write this review, but I was like, I just want to keep saying, like, I love it, and it was so funny, and I connected so much, and I totally get it. And I feel like that's kind of what my review came off like anyways. I don't know if it was like the best review I've ever written because I just felt like I kept saying like, thumbs up, go read it. But it just made me very enthusiastic because I really enjoyed the book, and I think fellow chick lit and romantic comedy fans would really enjoy it as well. I also particularly loved the term drunk booking that she used, because that kind of is like what sets off all these series of events in the book, is that our main character Jen gets quite toasty one night and puts a Facebook status out there that she probably should not have put out there, and it kind of like spirals out from there. And it's a very like in the now modern trendy book about how social media can be really good and social media can be really bad, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much. Gave it 5 stars. The next 5-star review is from Leah, and this is for The Bitter Season, and it's by Tami Hoag, possibly. Kovac and Liska take on multiple twisted cases as #1 New York Times bestselling author Tami Hoag explores a murder from the past, a murder from the present, and a life that was never meant to be. And in Leah's review, she says it starts off with a bang and the intensity of the book never dials down throughout. So Leah was a big fan of this one. It definitely sounds like a good like murder suspense book type. Just from reading the synopsis, it kind of like gave me the chills, to be honest. Every once in a while, like I'm very much like the chick lit, the romance, the women's fiction, the humor, the comedy. Like those are the books that I gravitate towards too, but every once in a while I do like to get something a little bit deeper in there and something with mystery, because it just really intrigues me. I feel like it keeps my mind running throughout the whole book, and this definitely sounds like one that would be a good one. The next 5-star review is also from me. It is for Novelista Girl, and this is by Meredith Schorr. Meredith Schorr is definitely on like my top list of authors. I love her so much. I've had the pleasure of meeting her in person twice, in Canada and also in New York, and it's so awesome to be able to meet authors. Like Meredith was someone who I started reading and reviewing like very early on, and she quickly became a favorite author of mine, and then to be able to get to meet her was like, hello, my name is Samantha. Like it was, I will always remember that time in Canada. It was so awesome. But her books are so great. If you are a chick lit fan, a women's fiction fan, I definitely suggest you read Meredith. She has a great fan base, and definitely for a reason. But I was so excited to read Novelista Girl, because this is the follow-up to Blogger Girl. Blogger Girl came out in 2014, I believe. And I reviewed that one, and we meet Kimberly Long. And basically she's a book blogger. She's not like a book blogger, she is a book blogger. And it was just so fun for me to be able to read as a book blogger, because I felt like I just really connected with her. But of course there's, you know, so much more going on than just her being a book blogger. But then it was awesome because in the follow-up in Novelista Girl, you know, obviously we're following Kimberly again, but now she's written a novel and she's trying to get it published. So she's going through the process of trying to find an agent and that sort of thing. And that was even more exciting for me to read, because not only am I a book blogger, but I am also an author as well. So it just feels like Kimberly and myself are just like great friends. And it's just so much fun to be able to read books like that and to be able to see, you know, an experience from her point of view. But also in this book, there's definitely a lot going on with kind of like Kim's enemy who has come into play, and like they're slowly starting to become friends, and you're kind of wondering what's going to happen there, and that affects her friendship with her best friend. And then in the romance department, that part was so good and so well written. I really enjoyed being able to read all the scenes with her boyfriend, how they move forward, how they kind of like get stuck. I definitely enjoyed this so much. Obviously I give it 5 stars, but if you are a book blogger, these books you definitely don't want to pass up. And there are so many bloggers turned authors, or you know, somehow you're in that sort of combination. But definitely check these out. They are so wonderful. This one is a review from Terry, and it is The Center of the World by Jacqueline Sheehan. I think I'm saying that right. Let's see. It says, in New York Times bestselling author Jacqueline Sheehan's evocative and emotionally compelling novel, a mother and her adopted daughter each embark on a journey of self-discovery in the wake of a stunning revelation. This book sounds very like... Okay, let me just read this to you because... I don't know, I just feel like I need to read this part to you. It says, how do you keep a secret so huge that it could devastate everyone you care about? For Kate Malloy, the answer is simple, one lie at a time. That's how she has protected her daughter for more than a dozen years, shielding her from a terrible truth. Sophia, a 15-year-old soccer star living in New England, believes she was born in Mexico and legally adopted by Kate. But a posthumous letter from her stepfather tells Sophia a different story, one of civil unrest and bloodshed, death-defying heroism, and a child smuggling, harrowing sacrifice and desperate decisions. Like, whoa, doesn't that sound intense? And Terry clearly loved it. She gave it 5 stars. Definitely want to check out. 5-star review from me. I feel like I had a really good January. Like, usually I have like 1 or 2 sprinkled in here. I feel like January was really my month. It was my long month. But the next one is Killing Me Softly, and this is by Kathryn R. Biel. I have read from Kathryn quite a bit before, and Killing Me Softly I thought was such an interesting read because I've talked a lot about how I enjoy like magic in books, like a little bit of like magical realism is the term that I like to use. The main character, Sadie, has like kind of like a sixth sense. Like, she kind of gets these like premonitions and kind of knows when things are going to happen before they do, but they always are revolved around death. So like, someone can say, hey, there's been a car accident, and she's like, oh, I know, so-and-so was killed in that car accident. Like, she just knows those sort of things. So it was very interesting to me to be able to read something like that, to see how the author was able to build this character up. I really, really enjoyed that, but really like the big meat of the story is the relationship between Sadie and her sister. And I mean, I will just say, like, wow, it's very well written, it's very believable, but it brings, like, it just brought out so many emotions. And that's when I know I have to give a book a 5-star review, is when it brings out so many different emotions in me, like happiness, sadness, anger, frustration, absolute shock, disbelief. Like, there were so many emotions that I would read while reading about her sister, the things that she did, what would go on in her mind, her actions that she took. There's a big mystery involved in here because her sister actually goes missing. People think she might be dead. Sadie is the big person of interest. It really, like, this took me through a lot of different emotions, and it's one that I highly recommend. And the last one is also 5 stars from me because my month was just so fabulous. But this is The Juggling Act, and this is by Carol Maloney Scott. This is book 3 in the Rom-Com on the Edge series. I have featured the series here on YouTube before as well, but this is the 3rd book. I was so happy to read it, and of course I ended up loving it. This one, we are following Claire and Brandon. They are a married couple, and they are just really at a point where they are struggling in their marriage right now. Claire is, I think she's 8 years older than Brandon, and she really struggles with her age, and this always feeling so self-conscious about being older, you know, what she looks like, all those sort of things. But also Brandon is, you know, he's young, he's attractive, he's in a band. She feels very insecure around their nanny. She feels very insecure around their neighbor, and she just has a lot of insecurities, and it's really affecting her marriage, her husband, all of that. And things kind of come to a head when she has to go to Key West for work, but she actually has to go with her ex-boyfriend, who is a coworker, and some things happen in Key West, some things happen back at home. It's very interesting to see what can happen when lines of communication in a marriage basically get shut off. And while Claire and Brandon, I don't think they were ever like truly trying to hurt one another. They were just trying to like protect one another by not saying little details or things like that. But then when you find them out, it hurts even more, and it just really reinforced how important communication can be in a marriage. There is a lot more going on than just that, but to me that was like the main focal point of the book, was their marriage and how they are doing. But there is some very funny scenes I mentioned in my review when Claire accidentally takes an Ambien in Key West. Like, there's really funny moments there. There's funny moments with a club that she goes to. There's some good moments back at home. There's also an adoption process being played out throughout the book as well, and I really enjoyed that. I was kind of surprised by how it ended, and it took me by surprise, and it happened very quickly, the resolution to this, but I enjoyed it. Definitely a great read for 2016. Okay, so that is all the 5-star books that Chick Lit Plus had in the month of January. I hope you guys enjoyed these books that I have shared with you. I hope some of them have caught your attention. If any of them have, you think you're going to check any of them out, or if you have read anything that I mentioned, please do leave in the comments below. I always like to know if these reviews are helping you guys, or if you have read any of these books. I think it's great. Please do give this video a thumbs up. If you did enjoy it, give me a thumbs up because I'm sick and I'm filming and I'm trying to be here for you guys because I care about you so much. You are subscribed before you go, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.
Is that truck pulling into my driveway again? I feel like I'm wearing such a dark lipstick and it's probably gonna be all over my teeth. Is it all over my teeth? It's probably just like all over my teeth. This look is one that okay, that's not how you're supposed to talk. Love, chick lit, and romantic comedy, and women's fiction. I feel like I list the same genres all the time. You don't have to list all the genres every time. And so with this one, oh yeah, I just have a bunch of bronzer on. Just a bunch of bronzer, just make me not look so pale. Eat like a normal human being again. Maybe one day.